Welcome to GESARA for Dummies. It is May 4, 2025. Let's look at today's news from Professor William Liebenberg, prepared by Martin Stein. Please like, share and subscribe. Join our Telegram group in the comments below. Thank you. Let's go. The GESARA Law. Do you know what IPAC is? The American-Israel Public Affairs Committee closely monitors a broad range of issues that affect the U.S.-Israel relationship. Over the past 60 years, the American-Israel Public Affairs Committee has built a reputation for providing reliable, credible and timely research and information for decision-makers in Washington and across the country. Q Military Intelligence said, "We are saving Israel for last." Look what President Trump just posted. Trump has published a portrait of himself as the Pope. He posted this post on the social network Truth Social. He had previously jokingly stated that he would like to become the new head of the Roman Catholic Church after the death of Francis. President Trump has got something up his sleeve. Who do you think is in control of the Holy Roman Catholic Church? To really understand why he is doing this, is because he is sending a strong message out. They told you it was just Trump, some orange man with a Twitter account. Loud, reckless, chaotic. But what didn't they tell you? He was drafted. Not by politics. By operators. The kind that don't run for office. The kind that you don't miss. This isn't about 2016. This plan started decades ago. When the military saw the writing on the wall, they realized the system was beyond reform. Too rigged. Too infiltrated. Too sold out. So, they found a wrecking ball. Someone loud enough to be ignored by the enemy. And precise enough to signal to allies. Executive orders? Legal traps? Tariffs? Economic warfare? Sound money? Not a slogan, a reset in motion. He wasn't alone. He was never alone. Behind the curtain. Cyber Command. National Security Agency. Treasury hawks. Rogue generals. All watching. All waiting. Question: what is the mission? Answer: end the Federal Reserve. Flip the financial grid. Gold standard. Expose the puppets. Trump was just the entry point. The storm isn't coming. It's already here. We have a Trump administration that tells you, time travel is real. Q Military Intelligence Post 3555, time travel is fun. Or, how do you think the Q Military Intelligence operation is always 2 steps ahead of the cabal, and President Trump makes outrageous predictions which eventually turn out to be 100% correct? The world that is coming will utterly shock most of us. We are not close to ready. Great news for American farmers. The United States Department of Agriculture and Secretary Brooke Rollins have announced a portal for farmers, ranchers and producers where, if you're being harassed by federal or state agencies, you go on the portal, and you've essentially a direct line to the top, to Secretary Rollins. This portal is going to be a big deal. Awesome news. Feeling pretty confident about where we're going. Meanwhile, in South Africa. Update on a very brutal farm attack on Uncle Robert Stoltz. I do not have the strength in me to put it all down in English. All I can say is that it was a very graphic, brutal murder of a white Boer farmer of 78 years old that was loved by all and gave love back to all. Murdered and slaughtered on April 30, 2025. This is what ANC 24, News 24. Peter du Toit, Adriaan Bassan, and the government of South Africa want to hide from the world. This is the attacks on white South Africans. This is a genocide.
Banks and the economy. At its current trajectory, South Africa's public debt is projected to reach 88% of gross domestic product in the next 5 years, an unsustainable level that could severely harm the local economy. South Africa has 6.42 trillion rand in state debt. Add in another 517 billion rand for lifelines for state-owned enterprises, and that amount is set to exceed 6.94 trillion rand. That's a 95% debt to gross domestic product ratio. Now add the 1.35 trillion rand Surti family claim against the government, the Surti family awaiting justice. This claim made it into the mainstream news, and few paid attention. The latest development is that they settled out of court and agreed on payment. When the fiat dollar collapses, it will multiply corrupt governments down with it.
Commodities. Precious metals offer protection against looming economic challenges. Bad economic and geopolitical news leads to precious metals being an attractive alternative to stocks. Next moves. Q Military Intelligence Delta Post 4281 of May 19, 2020. How about a nice game of chess? Objective end, checkmate king. Ask yourself the next few questions. Do you attack the king at the beginning of the game? Do you attack and remove pawns first? Do you attack and remove bishops, rooks, knights next? Do you attack and remove the queen mid to end? Is the game being played publicly or privately? Do emotions affect critical thinking? Add, important king control pieces eliminate rogue elements? Add, how do you set the stage board public opinion optics? At this time. Q. There are moves and counter moves. Payment systems. Ripple advertise a new stablecoin. What you need to know. The Federal Reserve Bank isn't a government agency. It's a private cartel, set up by a private committee, and enforced into law without any constitutional authority. So far, it has operated like any other cartel, pushing its own agenda, profiting from the suffering of the public, all while pretending to be a legitimate government institution. This is the truth about the Federal Reserve, and the reality of central banks worldwide. They are privately controlled entities acting in their own interests, not ours. Their time is running out. We know it and so do they. But don't be fooled, they're already trying to privatize the future of money. If Ripple and Stellar, actively working with central banks, end up controlling the rails, dominating the on and off ramps, owning the real liquidity corridors, and influencing the banks and institutions that connect to the exchanges, while those same central banks are fighting to survive, then we have a serious problem. We can't let them hijack what comes next. XRP and XLM are the tools set up by the Q military intelligence that devour the Federal Reserve. Gold and silver will destroy the Fed fiat. Now follow closely. Question: what's a ledger? Answer: credit and debit. Plus and minus. Question: what's a ledger in simple terms? Answer: a battery. Visualize it. A battery has a positive and a negative. It absorbs and releases energy. Question: what's a bank? Answer: debt or credit. Also, a positive and a negative. A battery. Control of energy. It manipulates energy. Our energy. The Federal Reserve Bank. Private shareholders. People cannot buy in. Question: what's the Federal Reserve? Answer: a ledger. A battery. Controls and manipulates our energy. People have no control. The government has no control. The cartel controls the charge and draining. The Ripple Initiative. 1. Private shareholders. 2. People can buy stock. 3. Institutions cannot buy as yet. 4. We were first in line. 5. XRP, tokens that will go gold-backed. 6. It is decentralized and not controlled by a central cartel. No, it is controlled by we the people. Meyer Amschel Rothschild said, "Give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who makes the laws." A few different questions. What's a ripple? Who controls its energy? Who manipulates its energy? Who holds all power? Answer: the people. Via XRP tokens. Class A shareholders. We make the laws. A monetary system for the people by the people. The classic reverse is here to stay: currency wars. Hong Kong buys record amount of US dollars to defend peg. Hong Kong intervened to defend its peg, buying a record amount of US dollars after the city's currency rose to the upper end of its trading band. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority spent 46,539 Hong Kong dollars, or $6 billion, on the US currency, its highest ever purchase of the dollar in one day, according to data compiled by Bloomberg that dates back to 2004. Japan says, massive treasury stockpiles are among tools for U.S. trade talks. Japan puts all cards on the table in trade talks with the U.S. Japan's huge U.S. Treasury holdings are among such cards, Cato says. Remarks highlight Japan and China's leverage as big U.S. creditors. The U.S. Treasury sell-off in April was among factors that led Trump to announce a 90-day pause on his reciprocal tariff plan, with Besson likely playing a key role. Aside from the tariffs, Japan has also faced criticism from Trump, that it was intentionally weakening the yen to give its exports a trade advantage, an accusation Tokyo denies. Kato said, his meeting with Besant last week did not discuss any desirable exchange rate, or a possible framework to control currency moves. Japan is the largest in the world for U.S. Treasury holdings. Japan, the largest foreign holder of U.S. Treasuries, just signaled it might weaponize its $1 trillion stockpile in trade talks. This is a big warning shot. This should be the day's biggest story, but many are just glossing over it. Warren Buffett says, it might be a good idea to own a lot of other currencies, besides the US dollar. The informed knows the fiat dollar is going to crash, it is just a matter of time. That sums up your Sunday news. Have a great week. See you tomorrow.